Well, I get to see the track every morning. I come across it when I'm coming back in from the track, and 365 days a year basically. It's important to me for several reasons. Firstly, a horse's soundness, which is so important to make sure that they're working, racing on the best surfaces possible. So I walk over the training tracks and then eventually get to the course proper here. And the first thing I look for is good grass cover, and I'm seeing that with this track at the moment. And I've seen it over many years, and in particular the last few years. And one thing I noticed when the Kensington track was down, and that track alone gets a bit of criticism, but how important it actually is to take away the load. So since that's been in action for the last couple of years, I've seen these tracks improve. Winter's the worst time. We always criticise tracks through July and even the start of August because obviously there's no growth. But I can assure you this track here has got so much grass on it compared to other times at this time of the year or other years. I think we're in for a really good spring. I think it'll bounce through the winter because of that grass cover alone. So one of the things we forget is rainfall, and how much rainfall we've had in Sydney's been quite unbelievable. And until I knew the rainfall figures, I was actually criticising the tracks and us constantly racing on heavy tracks. But once I saw the rain figures, it tells the story that through winter, where there's no drying, where it's very cool, the tracks haven't really had much to go on. With so much rainfall, you get heavy tracks, and heavy tracks I think works in two ways. Firstly, the trainers are a little bit reluctant to gallop them as hard on heavy tracks, so arguably they could be going into their races not quite as fit as we would like. You certainly couldn't see that just going around the parade ring, but you need to get every bit of fitness into a horse for any race, especially when they're running on heavy tracks. So they're not only doing it pretty tough in terms of getting enough work into them, but on race day running on a really wet track makes it a tough distance. So say it's a 1400 metre race, it's more like a mile. Say it's a 2000 metre race, it's more like a 2400. So it's very taxing on the horse. That slows down a horse's recovery, so you might not see your horses backing up within 7 days like you normally would. You might even need to give a horse 3 weeks between runs. Then you get to the side of things where they're 3 weeks between runs and they've lost a bit of fitness. So there's a lot of things that us as the trainer and the punters need to consider. But recovery is the first thing we look for, and the better the track, the better they recover. It's as simple as that. But going into the spring, we haven't had many frosts here at Rosehill in particular. I think that's a good thing. The grass is healthy. You can even see on the colour compared to other years, it's often got that yellow tinge to it. It's nice and green, healthy, and I think we'll springboard off this and have a great spring.